Welcome to ESPN Sonic Blockbuster. As you are watching the SEC on ESPN, we're at the home of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Coleman Coliseum, and the Wildcats of Kentucky come roaring in here, injured but persevering, and an opportunity to knock off the number 4 team in the nation. Alabama itself reeling, having lost 2 games in a row, but delighted to be back home in front of a massive crowd as we welcome you inside the Coliseum. You can see him. Of course, Dick Vitale is back with Jimmy Dykes and me, and I'm Carl Ravitch. You have a smile, we're smiling in here. This is a high-scoring game, a special opportunity for Kentucky, a special night for us to have you here.
Well, thanks a lot, Carl. First of all, when you look at this game, what gets me so excited is the offensive ability. We got the number 1 team in the nation offensively in Alabama, and the number 3 in Kentucky. So something's got to give. Defense is the key. The team that decides to play defense leaves with the W. Don't play defense, you go home with L.
Now, both teams have been challenged to play a little defense. That's right, Dick. Now let's take a look at tonight's Sonic Blockbuster. They put 199 points up in their first meeting 5 weeks ago. Alabama continues to score at a historic pace. But Jimmy, they have lost 2 games in a row, and even today, Nate Oates at the shoot-around, there was an edge about him.
Yeah, no doubt, especially on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, that's what Alabama is going to be judged by in March, and how deep they can go. Can they get key stops? I would say the same thing about Kentucky. If you're Alabama right now, those guys, you got to draw a line, I think, today, Coach, and say enough is enough is enough. As you see the energy and the fight by Nate Oates right now in the huddle, he knows this could be a season-saving game for Alabama. Turn the corner, get back on track, and stay and fight for a 1 seed in that NCAA tournament.
So you told me before the game, he said we got to get a good start. We were down 9-0 the last game. Game before 12-0. We got to come out with fire, and we got to play defense. He said if we don't play with that intensity, we lose. And like you said, Jimmy, they've already lost 2 in a row. And they're staring at a stretch now, 7 games off the charts. Lost 2 at the end. They got teams like Tennessee, Auburn, Florida to play.
100%. They know it as well as we get set for the tip of our Sonic Blockbuster. And to Dick's point, Alabama knows if we are going to not only compete for a conference title, we still have a chance, but a national title, they've got to tighten the screws up on defense.
Well, that, and they got to take care of the basketball. I mean, way too many turnovers for Alabama in conference play. And they turned that thing over like a hot potato at Missouri on midweek, and it cost them big time.
All right, here we go, underway. Kentucky obviously in the blue. They're dealing with a very, very favorable situation when Oweh, who's been so good, and Carr, who's gotten healthy, but he could not convert there on the tip. The Alabama starting 5 off a 35-point game. Sears penetrates and dishes to Amori.
Tremendous play right there by Sears. Penetration ability, beats the guy, gets the dunk for Amori. Also a key matchup is going to be Nelson and Carr checking in. We had 25 in the first meeting. Nelson.
Kobe Brea has been so good at shooting at home, and that's a nice roll for Brea to start.
Right, and he has really grown from just a 3-point specialist to doing stuff off the bounce, and that's Alabama's offense right there. They want to be so aggressive in the first 10 seconds of every possession.
Oweh all the way denied by Nelson as we take a look at the Kentucky starting 5. It is again without Jackson Robinson and Lamont Butler. They did participate, albeit very lightly, in the shoot-around this morning.
Yeah, Grant Nelson says no way to Oweh early, and that rim protection is so important in this league every night.
Tell you one thing I love about Mark Pope, no excuses. There must be no alibis, but it is a fact. You lose your starting guards, that's a big loss.
Carr will launch from the corner, too strong. Nelson went for it, give Perry credit, and now the shot fake, and he's got the nicest rotation on a shot in college basketball.
How good has he been as a true freshman and thrown into major minutes in this league?
Holloway, he can't get it to go, and it is on the floor, and it's going to go on number 4, Nelson, who dove and he undercut Oweh.
Well, the first basket of the game Nick, you talked about it, but the ability of Sears to get in the paint about any time he wants, the big concern for Mark Pope in this game. This is what I'm talking about with Perry. So under control, doesn't get sped up. He is brilliant at moving on to the next play after a mistake. Uncommon for a young player.
He's the all-time leading scorer in the state of Kentucky.
Think about
high
that.
school, over 5,000 points.
Yes.
Carr spin. He tried to get it to Williams, and into the game is Stevenson, who denied that pass. Baron Philon. Youngblood, left hand. That's pretty.
Youngblood has given a great lift as a starter. Came from South Florida. Played for a great young coach. He lost his life so early.
Carr from the corner. Back-to-back threes from Carr and Perry, same spot.
Boy, both teams are so good at flooding those deep corners early in offense and flatten out that defense.
Tell you one thing. Carr looked good stroking that ball. Looks like his back injury seems to be healed.
It's certainly a lot better than it's been, no doubt about it, and that's a big, big piece for Mark Pope. Sears, free throw line, no good.
Well, you had a big game against Missouri, 35, but the bottom line is they didn't guard anybody. Give them 110 points, how are you going to win a basketball game? That's ridiculous.
You score 98 on the road and come away with a loss.
98 on the road and you lose. You're right, Jimmy, no question. That would drive me nuts as a coach.
Carr again, no to the left, and nobody there to help on the offensive glass.
You've got to keep Alabama out of the paint. That's where those three-point shots get started from.
Sears uses that body, and he kicks Brea away.
When Sears spots an opening in the defense, a gap or seam, he attacks it as good as anybody in America with the rock in his hands.
Yeah, he goes left and lefter. You've got to make him do something with that right hand.
Brea, whoa, a rainbow three.
Are you serious? He only shot last year 48.9 from the three, led the nation at Dayton. The guy's an automatic. You know, he's up and down a little this year, but he's still shooting over 40%.
Well, it's huge that he's got a couple to fall here. There was a recent article about they'd like to see the Rupp Arena Kobe Brea, and he's shown up early tonight.
Here's what we're talking about with Sears, his ability to take a hit and hang and get that thing to drop still through contact. And to your point about Kobe Brea, he was the most sought-after shooter in the portal last spring. And Mark Pope went in and gobbled this guy up. And Mark Pope actually telling us the last 4 games, Kobe Brea has graded out as one of their better defenders. Well, that's a big step right now for him.
Tell you this, too, about him. There's only 2 players on the floor that our people rate in terms of for the NBA first 2 rounds. He's one of them because of the shooting ability.
Yeah. Colin Chandler into the game. So is Brandon Garrison for Kentucky. Another turnover there for Alabama. Chandler had his arguably most productive game in the loss to Missouri. Carr again. Oh boy, they're on fire early.
How can you not take away that 3-point hammer pass that Kentucky just executed?
Too many open looks, Jimmy.
No doubt.
Many open looks.
Holloway, does he have an answer? He does.
He can shoot the ball. Comes off the bench, averages double figures.
Kentucky has made 4 of 6 3-point field goals to start. We haven't played 5 minutes. Now they go with a roll. And Carr thinks about it. To the left, and boy, he's healthy, Dick. You're right.
There's too many layups. I mean, layups, threes, wide open. You got to defend, Jimmy.
You have got to stay in front of that basketball. It's a huge concern, really, for both teams to start this game.
Diabate doesn't get the friendly roll. But, Dick, that's the blueprint for success for Nate Oates. 3-point shots and shots at the rim. And we asked him earlier, are you seeing other teams do that? He said, all of them are doing it now.
He's done a great job here in Alabama, but I also love the unbelievable enthusiasm of Pope. He's
no doubt.
Tremendous.
That offense, Dick, he always has shooters in those far corners to find those backside bombs. And this is the playmaking ability of Andrew Carr at 7 foot. Remember, he was a monster in wins against Duke and Gonzaga earlier this year.
Tonight, NBA Saturday primetime, ABC. It's LeBron, it's Luka, it's the Lakers. We'll see if 1, 2, neither play tonight against Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. Massive showdown out west. Coverage ships with the NBA countdown. 8 o'clock Eastern time. We talked about the offense. We're seeing it already here. We see it tonight in the NBA.
Well, you talk about the NBA. It's unbelievable when you think about LeBron James. 40 years of that age. He hits 40 the other night. He's amazing. I can't remember a player his age ever doing what he's doing. He's in another world.
That's coming from somebody who's clearly in another world. Dick Vitale, that's his voice. You hear him back here with us.
Hey, great knows great.
That's right.
Great knows great.
Mark Pope compared you to Don King, the great boxing promoter. The way you promote this sport. You were talking about Pope when he was playing. He remembers all of it.
He was a good player off the bench for Rick Pitino, a national championship team.
Chandler right out of the break. They had a play designed, and Alabama couldn't defend it.
It just cannot stay in front of the ball. Just very simple action by Kentucky, and Chandler gets downhill off of it.
Kentucky off to a flying start when it comes to shooting. 7 of 11, 4 threes included.
Mark Pope's got to be really excited about the start so far.
Holloway wide open and can't get it to go. Oweh gets up and rips it. They got a man ahead. Great pass to Garrison.
They gave up 110 points to Missouri, who's a very good team. You would think that would be a wake-up call when playing against Kentucky, who's number 3 in the nation offensively. You got to play defense as a team. A lot of guys played individually, but the great teams that play defense, Houston, Duke, Rick Pitino down there with St. John's doing a marvelous job. They communicate, they help out defensively. You got to do that. If you're a former coach, you got to get the team to play as a unit.
And in this game, the defense starts the first 3 steps of your run from one end to the other. Kentucky getting out with Garrison in front of the play. Alabama just not right now on point or on edge defensively, like a team that's battling still for a #1 seed in that NCAA tournament.
You know, talking to Nate upstairs in his office before the game, certainly not happening what he wanted. He said, we got to get a great start because we've been falling behind early in games and then playing catch up.
Nelson hard, lost it out of bounds, and it will stay with Alabama.
Yeah, the last 2 ball games, they fell behind 9-0 and 12-0.
Yeah.
Ultimately, both lost games by 9 and 12 points. I really expected Alabama to come out with their hair on fire in this game on both ends, and so far, it's just not there.
There's the games. Auburn, 9-zip. Missouri, 12-zip. Nelson, late pass. They got an open 3. No. Rebound. Diamante underneath. Stolen by Chandler. Garrison, that's a walk.
Good defense that time by Grant Nelson, man, to hold his ground and to spread out low and strong. Terrific job as Garrison tried to bang into him a couple of times, Coach, and Nelson had nothing to do with it.
Each team with a couple of turnovers. Nelson on the floor, Amori on the floor. Alabama with a taller lineup. Sears left open, that's dangerous. He buries it right in front of Pope in the Kentucky bench.
You're certainly one of the more prolific scorers in college basketball. He has such a variety of ways that he can score.
Early 5 for Sears. Nelson, a great job to keep it in bounds. And a bucket for Sears again. He's got 7.
Tell you one thing, he is some offensive player. And he's did a great
Chandler.
job. He did a great job. Got to give the kid really great job getting in front of the ball, Jimmy.
Mark Sears is the head of the snake for this Alabama team. And that's a key deflection right there that Nelson saves from behind. And now watch Mark Sears, man, so patient, strong, tough through contact. His ability to take a hit and hang is exceptional stuff.
Tell you one thing, his strength on that drive was shown. He really was strong going to that goal.
And Dick, he worked, as he told us earlier this season, he worked so hard and putting on about 12 pounds of muscle coming into this season. Alley-oop, Amori had it. Now it's deflected. It'll stay with Alabama. They'll reconvene with 15 on the shot clock. Sears, logo. 3 too strong and a long rebound Nelson couldn't come up with.
Not a good shot, really not a good shot possession. I know it's tough to criticize a kid who can score like that, but that was really not a good shot.
Talk about strong. Amari Williams works his way in. Oweh, baseline jumper, no. Here he goes again in traffic, blocked by Nelson.
Oweh, right? We talked about it all year, the most consistent guy for Mark Pope. The only guy in this league to go for double figures every night, and his ability to defend in this game is going to be critical. Going down the stretch, a guy you can put on Mark Sears, a bigger physical guy, try to keep that ball out of the lane. He has carried a big load this season for Mark Pope.
Tell you, Oweh, he made a great shot block against Vanderbilt. I was one of those jumped out on my team. I'm watching him on my team and said, "Are you serious?" I could not believe the way he elevated. He got up like you, Carl. He got up high, up, and up.
When I stand on a ladder, he got up like me. Exactly.
No. He was up, and away.
Yeah.
Sears gets his first break. They'll take it under 12, and he'll come back after the TV timeout. Perry fired it up. That's no good. And a lot of contact on that rebound by Oweh in traffic. Just the pace we thought we'd get, and a great job by Holloway to stop in front of Noah to force the foul.
You know, we haven't called his name at all, really. And he's been brilliant for Kentucky all year, getting better and better. Came as a great defensive player 3 years in a row in the conference there with Drexel. But he's been scoring, passing, a point, big guy. We haven't mentioned his name at all thus far.
Amari Williams, no doubt, Coach.
Yeah.
The most important guy for Kentucky is 22 in blue.
Yeah, he's been great, Jimmy. He's been great. I've heard you sing his praises, and deservedly so.
Well, he's top 5 in the country when you combine his points, rebounds, and assists per 40 minutes.
Holloway around and out, can't get it to go, and Noah with a defensive rebound.
He handles the ball really well. Look at this. He's like a point guard.
No doubt.
He's a unbelievable point
center.
Yeah.
Great pass.
Nice pass. Oh, it was a terrific pass.
2-on-1. They got an alley-oop if they want it. There it is.
Oh, are you serious? That is the elevator man. No Carl Ravage. Up and away. You want offense? We got offense. Call your friends up and get in this game.
Roll Tide.
Wow.
It all starts with their ability, man, to get out and run. And Oweh right there to finish off the sweet pass from LeBaron Philon. And Nado's got to feel a lot better about his club's energy the last couple of minutes.
Up, and Oweh. 20-16 our score. Kentucky on top of Alabama. Both teams shooting just about 50%. Kentucky's got 4 threes. Alabama's got 2. With Dick Vitale, Jimmy Dykes, Carl Ravitch back here. There's Mark Pope, who's done a terrific job in his first year. What's impressed you the most about what he's done, Dick?
What impressed me the most, he's very optimistic and becomes contagious on his players, and they've done a great job. When you look at them beating 7 teams, 7 in the top 15 in the nation. He's played injured. He's got 7 games where he had a full roster, but you lose the likes of what he did, and losing Butler, and certainly Jimmy, losing the other kid, Jackson Robinson. Yeah. Those are major losses.
And Kriisa. I mean, that's their other backup point guard they've been without.
He was good at Arizona, too.
No doubt.
Tom Hart, thank you very much. It is a Sonic blockbuster, and this is Carl Ravitch with Jimmy Dykes, and delighted to be joined by the Hall of Famer Dick Vitale. It's been a fast start as Amari Williams has it and kicks to Brea, who's already made 1 3. He's got another.
Man, when he shoots it, you know there's a chance going in. But what a nice play by Williams to create the opening for Brea.
These two teams put 199 points up the last time they met 5 weeks ago. Kentucky, fast pace, Oweh, and Terry Egglesby says trip on LeBaron Philon as we welcome you courtside inside Coleman Coliseum. Dick Vitale, welcome back. We're delighted to be with you. That's Jimmy Dykes, and I'm Carl Ravitch.
That's a great place to be. Much better than doing chemo or radiation. This is heaven, yes. Man. This is real medicine. But let me tell you this. Looking at the game here, the one thing I'm impressed with, certainly with Mark Pope, he's brought an exciting style of basketball to down there in Lexington. And I know the fans, Big Blue Nation, have to love the way they play.
You know, it's an offensive system that's triggered by 22 in blue as a 7-foot playmaker up top. A lot of zoom action. They really spread you out, Coach, and get driving angles as well.
Brea, that's a challenge 3 that was halfway down and then kicked out.
They got to get Nelson going. He hasn't scored. He had 25 in the first meeting.
Great defense that time by Travis Perry in a game that hasn't featured a ton of defense. Williams, the alley-oop. Carr pushed by Nelson. He'll shoot 2.
Carr's had a really good start in this game, Jimmy. He's been very effective inside, coming back from a back injury. I'll tell you one thing. Mark told me before the game, we have to control Nelson. We can't let him take the game over like he did the first matchup with 25 and 11. He didn't have a strong game against Missouri either, and they lost. They gave up 110 points. And I'm telling you, that is a no-no. Score 98 and you leave with an L. That's a nightmare for a coach.
Lost to Missouri by that figure, 110 points. As we take a look at tonight's Sonic blockbuster, and it has to do with what both these guys have talked about, and it's living up to what we thought early on with a 24-16 edge. These are 1 and 3 as far as scoring offenses, Jimmy.
Well, Grant Nelson was so good in that first matchup off of the short roll action and 25 points that Coach talked about. The thing about playing Alabama, all 16 of their points so far have been scored within the first 10 seconds of the possession. Man, if you're Kentucky, you got to get that defense set.
Sears, high arc, man, he goes left, and he used that sonic kiss.
He just has such a natural scoring ability. He knows how to really recognize a gap in the defense and attack it with really purpose.
Carr, no good. Williams went in there, and he was held. That's going to be on the floor on Aiden Sherrill. He's got 9 to Sears of the 18, Jimmy.
Ravi, everybody in Coleman Coliseum knows that Mark Sears is going to go left. And you've got to make sure that you don't open up your hips. You force him back where the defensive help is coming from. You've got to sit on that left paw, man, and make number 1 do something with the right in this ball game. 3 or 4 possessions ahead.
And you know this, having seen so many games, Jimmy, he'll start left, he'll go left, he'll keep spinning around until he goes left again.
And he'll get there left.
He'll get
it's
there.
Like, they used to tell you about certain players. Don't let him go to the right. Don't let him go to the right.
Brea.
You know what? They get to the right.
He's got 3 threes to start. A phenomenal shooting performance from Kobe Brea.
Well, I hope the people all out there realize they scored a basket. Ooh, I think
Holloway fires, no good.
Brea, unbelievable, led the nation last year at 49% shooting threes for Dayton. Real good program down there at Dayton.
He has struggled on the road shooting threes, not today, 3 of 4. Oweh, oh, what a tough shot. That's another guy. Rock solid, strong.
No doubt through contact. Oweh, you got to do that in a game like this.
I'll tell you one thing, Carr, you're right. That was a tough goal. He's the only player in the conference scoring double figures in every game. That's unbelievable, consistent.
I just sense Sears feels like he could go by Perry about any time he wants.
Holloway, way downtown, knocks it down.
They can shoot.
That's about like 35 feet. Unbelievable. He played at Auburn, so
he did.
Imagine they wore an Auburn uniform, they were an Alabama uniform.
Brea feeling it, goes baseline, too strong. And he just got outworked there. They got numbers 3 on 2. Sears smartly says, that's Williams, I can't take it to him. And Youngblood fired up an ill-advised 3 that time. Now they kick, here's Sears, that's off. And Carr pushed, he sure did. He pushed Amori, and that's a foul on Carr.
Ravi, the 3-point shooting for Alabama goes up about 10 percentage points if they take a 3-point shot off of a paint touch. It drops dramatically if they play pass around that perimeter. But man, Holloway, he can shoot that thing from 35 as easy as he can shoot it from 15.
Unbelievable.
Not a better stroke in college ball, Coach.
He's got a great stroke. Kid Brea's got a pretty good stroke, too.
No doubt.
But I'll tell you this, Natos, what about the job he's done? He won 31 games 2 years ago. Last year, he takes him to the Final Four. He's done a terrific job. He's won 2 SEC Conference championships and 2 tournaments.
Bad pass, turnover, Oweh, and he goes like a bull. Can't get it. Sears, Almanor. Good job by Youngblood to seal him off.
Almanor almost caught him, but that was a given. There's no way he was going to miss that. He's headed for another big day.
Crowd at Coleman, another sellout, stands as the lead is cut to 7. Perry, that It's a wide open three, and he can't get it to go.
Boy, Bama got lucky. You cannot go under on a guy like Travis Perry.
Look at Sears. Oh, he couldn't finish it, but he'll have another chance to shoot a couple.
Yeah, once again, Jimmy, Nate Oates was saying to me before the game, we can't keep falling behind and always chasing deep shot. They cut the lead against Missouri to 6. Missouri called a timeout. Coach Gates did a great job, called a timeout, and scored 7 in a row to go back up 13. It was lights out.
Yeah, well, when your defense is iffy, you gamble the dice every ball game. Is our defense going to be hot or not to start with? And I think it all starts, though, with Mark Sears, man. He's got to take great command of this team going forward. He came back last year after losing in the Final Four with the sole purpose of winning Alabama a national title. Expect this kid to just continue to turn up his intensity as we get closer to March.
Well, what a fast start for Sears, who knocks down the free throw. He is the only player in the SEC that's in the top 5 in both points and assists. He gets 85% from the stripe, and Dickie V, he's got a dozen already.
Hey, Carl and Jimmy, also, this game has a lot at stake for seeding and also making certain that you really get a high seed by winning games of this caliber. Kentucky's done a great job, and so has Alabama most of the year. But now you get down to really the time where you want to get yourself a good high seed.
No doubt.
Another opportunity as we head to the 8-minute mark, and we'll get a TV timeout for Sears to get a blow, so he's on the bench. Difficult shot deflected out. Here's Alabama again. LeBaron Philon pulls up. No good. Noah kept it alive.
Some of the shot selection is really questionable.
It's
really
quick.
is.
Yeah, it is quick.
You got to make that extra
Nice
play like
pass there. What a play.
That's shot selection. That's high percentage efficiency. That's being offensively outstanding. That'll make the coach smile.
A 9-0 run has cut the lead down to 3 until Garrison gets too deep.
Well, that's what you do as a visiting team on the road. You silence that crowd by jackhammering that ball inside. A nice cut by Garrison to get open.
Philon with that terrific pass to Diabate. And that was Diabate's first 2 of the game.
Well, Kentucky trying to be physical with Alabama and those dribble handoffs, trying to blow them up.
Philon ran into 2 blue shirts and then threw a tough pass for Amore to catch. Noah's a good 3-point shooter, a little strong. This rapid fire pace continues, and a whistle on Chandler as he gets called for the foul. We'll take a timeout. This game is absolutely electric. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sonic, an official sponsor of the SEC. Live free, eat Sonic. Back to Coleman with Dickie V and Jimmy Dykes after this. Welcome back to ESPN Sonic Blockbuster, and it has been an offensive show, which is exactly what we expected. Kentucky by 5, 6:30 to go, 32-27.
Well, Mark Sears is taking the basketball, guys, anytime he wants, anywhere he wants to do it. Now, he's made a 3-point shot, but his ability to drive the ball and get in the paint sets up this offense for Alabama that so far 20 of their 27 points have been scored in the first 10 seconds. It's basically because of Sears pushing that thing with speed. How's Kentucky answered? It's been Brea has knocked down 3 3-point shots already in this game. If you're Alabama, you have got to top block Brea and take away his ability to run to 3-point shots in this game.
I agree with you. Hey, you think about the 3-point shot you just mentioned, Brea. What about today? Tennessee gets 8 threes, 8 from Lanier, and really, that's the first time a guy scored 8 in 11 years on the road against a nationally rated team.
Yeah, he had 24 in the first half of that game. Ended up with, he was incredible today, Chaz Lanier. As you're watching an ESPN Sonic Blockbuster here between these two teams, number 4 in the country is Alabama.
You know, Carl, think about, you mentioned Tennessee. I think Rick Barnes does a great job defensively, should be in the Hall of Fame. I think 4 teams to me, if you want to see pure defense, played as a team, helping, communicating. You think about Pitino at St. John's, Kelvin Sampson, who belongs in the Hall of Fame at Houston. You think certainly Tennessee and Duke. John Shire's done an amazing job taking talent and getting to play together as a defense.
These two teams would like to borrow some of that stuff. Their defense has been questioned.
Yeah, 4 terrific defensive ball clubs there, Coach, you mentioned. And St. John's, man, they can't shoot the ball straight. And, man, can they guard you and create havoc and turnovers? A guy that this guy played for.
Tell you one thing, I think Rick Pitino, if I was voting today, he's the National Coach of the Year. For what he's done, I think, I don't know, there's something like 23-4, with really not a great offensive team, but his defense keeps them into every game. Tomorrow he's going to date with Danny Hurley at the Garden.
What about this guy as Coach of the Year?
Well, he's done a great job in his first year, and there's been several of them. Pat Kelsey down the road at Louisville. My National Coach of the Year is going to go to whichever head coach wins the regular season of the SEC. The toughest league in the history of college basketball. If that ends up being Bruce Pearl, he would be my National Coach of the Year.
Sears just waiting and finding Holloway, and it was in and out. Great job! Amori again.
Amori, baby. Rutgers, right? Rutgers in 4 years. Also, he's an engineering major here. Got an engineering degree. He's going places in life.
It sure is. With or without basketball, he's going places.
You know, you talk about Bruce Pearl. You made a great point about Pearl. I'd have no problem if he's coaching here. I have no problem with Rick Pitino. I really mean it.
Brea, difficult pass. He somehow gets it back. They got to shoot it. Perry, no good. Chance for Alabama to grab its second lead of the night.
Felt like Kentucky was a little rattled on that last offensive series.
Nice job there. They've twice now gone inside. First lead since it was 2-0.
Uncle Mo is right now on the side of Bama, baby. Uncle Mo is on their side. Good timeout.
Alabama in the middle of a 15-2 run. Well, what are they doing? Their energy has turned up on the defensive end, which has also ignited their competitive fight on the offensive end. Their ability to have an open corner with a guy 6'10" to drive it, man, that is some tough cover right now if you're Kentucky. And the flex going on by the bench, Alabama has fought their way back into this league.
Tell you one thing, Stevenson's got a great future. He's a young player, was highly recruited out of high school, and they think he's got a world of potential.
He does.
He's got a smile on his face. He's got a smile on his face.
He liked those offensive rebounds. He liked the plays in the paint. And he certainly likes the idea that they have battled back now with that 15-2 run to grab a 1-point lead. Oweh, manned up by Diabate. Threw it up, and he stepped out of bounds on the baseline.
A great job to take away that drive by Oweh, because that was a set play by Mark Pope coming out of that timeout to get him to the elbow, going downhill with that right hand, and Diabate just choked off all that water.
5 turnovers for Kentucky in this game. And Mark Sears has done a terrific job scoring. He hasn't turned the ball over yet tonight.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. You beat me to the punch, Carl. You beat me to the punch. I'm supposed to be the unanimous. Oh, man.
He saw your note written down and stole it from you.
0 turnovers, Sears. I read it. Holloway, corner 3. Tough shot. Boy, right in front of Pope again.
I'm telling you, man, Uncle Mo is on their side. You can see the body language.
Yes. Great give and go there. That's Williams. He is such a weapon.
He really is. His passing ability is so unique for someone that big. He really has been a special player.
3rd assist for Amari Williams.
Uncle Mo forgot to protect the rim.
It's not his strength. The offensive guy. Diabate deep. Wow. He's got a chance for 3.
Yeah, he is too small. And Diabate makes a play out of that corner. Sears goes downhill and a little bit of a brush screen to free Diabate up. And once he starts going to that paint, it is Just too much size and too much strength for Trent Noah, who's a fighter, to hold up one-on-one.
Tell you one thing, though. The defensive player in the help side should have rotated over. As soon as he spun, from the help side, should have been right there and not allowed it to happen.
Load to that ball, Coach. To your point, you load to that ball, you can pick off some steals of that spin action.
Diabate playing with some confidence, too. He had a double-double in that game against Missouri, 13 and 10. And
almost everybody was in double figures.
That's true.
110 to 98.
If you weren't, you didn't try.
Hey, let me tell you this. I'm 85. I could have scored in that game. I could have scored in that game.
No doubt. No doubt. Spot up, Coach, and I'll find you.
7 fouls against Alabama, and Kentucky 9. So we go down the other end as they got the foul called on that free throw miss. And one of the 3 freshmen, Dick, when you talk with Pope, he lumps the freshmen, Perry and Noah and Chandler, all together. And they have what have become somewhat historic shooting competitions. At one point, Perry went to the free throw line to shoot 100 free throws, and 3 straight days, he made all 100.
Wow.
Pope's never seen it before.
Wow. Yeah, Pope really likes his freshmen, and he's got 3 good ones coming in next year. Kentucky's going to like. Kid named Johnson, Jasper, kid named Lewis, and also a kid named Marino, big guy, 6'10".
Good defense by Oweh on Sears. As he's the one guy they think can stay in front of him, and he went high to block that, but Mark Sears will have a couple more free throws to shoot. Seesaw battle. Right now, it's the Tide that are rolling. Sears will have a chance to shoot 2 for points 14 and 15 when we come back. About Nelson for sure. Today, the offense being picked up a little bit by Aiden Holloway and his 3 threes, and Mark Sears has carried them. You take a look at the standings in the SEC, and there's Auburn on top. Florida brings hand-locked back to 7-footer, and a lot of people will circle Florida as the sneaky, not even sneaky in the terms of like they've just shown up and all of a sudden they're on the radar, but maybe the best team in the SEC in spite of not having the record that Auburn does.
They are right now. I think they're playing better than anybody else. I'm not so sure Bruce Pearl wouldn't agree with that. The team that I like on that graphic a lot is Missouri.
Yeah, sure.
Man, they're sitting down there at 15th, and there are not 14 teams in this country better than the Missouri Tigers right now.
Certainly the way they looked last game against Alabama was unbelievable. Their offense, Mark Mitchell inside had like 34. The kid shoots the basketball.
Caleb Grill, Tamar Bates.
Grill was unreal at 25. He might be the best shooter I've saw all year.
No doubt.
They Alabama did Missouri in that game. It's Williams, great cross-court pass to Brea. He will fire again, and that one's too strong. Carr lost it. Sears back in. Stevenson will launch one. No.
Stevens got that length. Stevenson, he's very athletic. I see great potential in that young guy.
College basketball continues tonight right here on ESPN. That aforementioned Missouri team, another opportunity for Arkansas, who I believe Joe Lenardi has currently as the last team in the tournament. Then at 10 Eastern, 19th ranked Arizona against Mark Pope's former team, BYU. Both games available on the ESPN app.
You mentioned the fact about Arkansas. I love John Calipari. He's a close friend. He's done a great job where I thought at Kentucky did a tremendous job. 15 years. Sometimes you wear yourself out a little bit, and a change had to be made. However, being in a tournament right now, 4-9 in a conference, you got to start getting some wins in that conference. You got to get at least mediocre. I don't care how tough the conference is. The tournament's not to recognize mediocrity at best. I mean, come on. It's about, you don't leave out teams, I don't care how tough. Put in the tournament teams in over teams 24-2.
That's why their opportunity tonight against Missouri is magnified, Coach, to your point. They need a couple of good wins.
How good is that? A little jump hook from Williams.
My point is, if he gets at least 500, I can understand. You're below the 500 mark, you don't belong in the tournament. You should be not recognized. The tournament is supposed to be about success.
Alabama by 6 after that Phylon turnover. Williams has a height advantage.
Fight line is special. He really is. You can just see his leadership ability.
Brea intercepted that pass to Perry. They got 4 on the shot clock. And Williams will launch. No. That's a violation.
Mark Sears' energy, guys, on defense is as good as I've seen this year. Mark Sears has taken it personal in this game to lock up his guy.
Yeah, they did a great job. That whole sequence, they played team defense.
6 turnovers for Kentucky in this one.
It starts with your point guard, too.
No doubt.
You can shut off the guy at the point. You got a chance to play good defense.
Yep. We talked about him earlier. Nate Oates has won 72 games in SEC play since he was hired. That's the most of any coach in this league. That's how good he has been. And again, how much he will be in demand when this season's over by a lot of other jobs.
25 top 25 wins in his career does Oates have. That ties the program record set by Whip Sanderson.
What a pass.
Whip Sanderson did a very good job in this program. So did C.F. Newton, and so did, don't forget, Godfrey. He did a good job, those 3 guys.
Williams thinks he's got an opportunity. He goes to his right and throws it up. That's a rare move for him, but he draws the foul.
You can't let Amari Williams bring the ball down the floor, Ravi, and get that deep. I mean, he's a 7-foot point guard bringing this thing up. You got to stop him outside that 3-point line. And you let him just casually dribble into that restricted arc area. You got to foul him to stop him. That's on all Alabama right there.
Every pickup game you ever played in school, there was always the biggest kid that would just dribble down, back you out, and turn and deflate in. Amari Williams playing that game as he knocks in the first free throw. So it was, in a baseball vernacular, Dick, you'd appreciate it. He threw a perfect game, did Amari Williams against Vanderbilt. 17 points, didn't miss a field goal, didn't miss a free throw. He had 4 blocks and no fouls. Pau Gasol for the Lakers. That's it. That's the list.
Well, I want to say this. That Vanderbilt second half was as good as Kentucky's played all year. They put a clinic on, defensively and offensively. And it really improved thus far defensively when you look at what they've done the last 4 games, giving up about 66 points a game.
Last minute and a half, first half. It's been terrific. Noah deep in the paint. He's guarded by Holloway, who he's got about 3 inches on. Williams again. He's deep. Perry, pretty move. Kick, Almanor. Too strong.
Almanor's really good for them off the bench. He looked really well from the 3-point line. Was been instant offense off the bench.
Sears, nice dish. Sherrill, wow.
That's how the game started. You can't not stay in front of Mark Sears in this first half for Kentucky. That is a big, big concern, man, going forward.
Mark Sears is playing like a first-team All-American here this afternoon. He really playing super.
Williams right at the freshman, Aiden Sherrill, and he draws the foul.
Ravi, Mark Sears has drawn 4 fouls already in this game. And that's a sign right there statistically that tells you Kentucky's having trouble with this kid. And he's been driving it with his right, but he always finds a way to get back to his left as a scorer. But he's a drive-right passer as good as we have in this league.
That's a pretty good first half stat line for Sears with 2 assists, 0 turnovers, and 15 points. Plus, he's gotten a few Kentucky guys in some foul trouble. Williams missed the free throw.
The USA chant has bothered Williams the last 2 times at the line.
You know, I was thinking about that Vanderbilt game. I think they outscored Vanderbilt in that second half. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, 41-20.
I think it's what it was.
Yeah, they just dominated. I mean, dominated.
The USA chant, because, of course, Williams is from Nottingham, England. Well, maybe it's working. I don't know. I would think not. Holloway. Yep. Right into a 3. And they know it's quickly calls a timeout.
If you're a coach, you want him to shoot the rock every time he has it. The kid really, the stroke is really, so let him get hugs. Fans love him. This is basketball school.
Aiden Holloway has made almost half of his shots in 13 SEC games. You cannot allow a guy that shoots it that well to just casually bring the ball up the floor and step into a wide open three in transition. That's on Kentucky's transition defense. Not talking it out, not being tough enough, not having enough urgency, and Nate Oates' guys take advantage of it.
This has been, fellas, a game of runs, and the most recent one now is Alabama's, as they have brought us to the 32.5-second mark on a 29-8 run to grab their largest lead of the game at 47-38. Tell you the other thing you notice, both Dickie and Jimmy, there are elite shooters on this floor. You mentioned Holloway, he's elite. Perry is elite. Brea is elite. Robinson, when he's healthy, is an elite shooter, not a good shooter, elite shooter.
And Sears, an elite scorer.
He's scorer, yeah.
He scores in a variety of ways, man. Go to Baskin Robbins, man. Get all the flavors. He's got all the flavors.
31 of them. All right, so we got 2 seconds difference, shot and game clock.
We're a close game. These possessions that close out a half are magnified. I'm telling you, magnified.
Here's the play call. They'll hand it to Brea. The alley-oop, perfect. They do that with 6 seconds still to go here. They got a chance for a shot. Diabate all the way. No good. He had a layup.
He almost had it. He almost had it. But the Brea play right there with Williams was really great. Just great execution. Very efficient.
They got Brea in that NASCAR cut going downhill, but boy, for Alabama to come storming back after not a great start. Sears and Holloway, the guard play for Alabama has been on point. Sears with 15 points already. His buddy Holloway making threes as well. Roll Tide has the lead at the half.
27 of the team's 47. Aiden Holloway, release, rotation, splash. Kevin Connors, Dallin Cuff, Josh Pastner with a halftime report. Welcome back to ESPN's Sonic Blockbuster. And it is another blockbuster with the SEC on ESPN. Every single night provides an opportunity. Tonight it's Kentucky's opportunity to knock off number 4 on the road. But Alabama has been carried, trying to avoid their 3rd straight loss. Jimmy Dykes by this guy, Mark Sears.
Well, in the second half, Kentucky has to have an answer for Mark Sears, because offensively, he's taking the ball any place he wants to take it any time. He's shooting the ball well. And think about this, Mark Sears has not had a turnover so far in this game, and he's had some high turnover games the last couple of weeks. So Kentucky awfully concerned with Mark Sears, who's starting to look like Mark Sears from a year ago.
Take a look at the first half tonight, 15, and then go back to the second half at Missouri and the first half, in which he ended up total 35 points. He's got 50 points in his last half and full game, so he has been a scoring machine. If you didn't hear him, he's back again. Great to have Dick Vitale alongside Jimmy and me. Your observation in the first half?
Well, you know, the game started, they were really struggling. When you talk about Alabama, defense was breaking down. Kentucky jumped on them. But I got to give Alabama a lot of credit. And it started with Sears, not only offensively, defensively. And he stayed in front of a guy, rubbed off, it became contagious, and they got themselves a lead because they stepped up defensively. And we know they're an offensive machine. They lead the nation in scoring, 90 points a game. Kentucky goes 3rd in the nation. And I don't want to make excuses, but you lose 2 starting players who are injured. Both Butler and Robinson are outstanding veteran players.
No doubt about it. Second half of our Sonic Blockbuster matchup is underway. Game of runs. See if that continues in the second half. Oweh only 2 points, by the way, for the guy that's been in double figures every game.
Yeah, 26 straight games. Kentucky, I don't think they can win this game unless Oweh gets to double figures. He's got 2 right now.
Brea affected maybe from behind. That's a good comeback defensive effort by Phylon.
And here's Nelson out there, hasn't scored a point.
Nelson has done nothing offensively. Amore denied by the rim, but they're going to get a foul on Brea.
Boy, Alabama is hyper-aggressive, are they not? The first 10 seconds of their possession, man, they think that thing downhill now with force.
They are so unbelievably explosive offensively. They really are. If they would just buy in and listen to Coach Oates and really play defense at a high level, They would be so tough to beat.
Amore can't get the free throw to go. Guys, a reminder, too, as we got men's basketball on the SEC Network. How about Oklahoma today with an impressive win? 9 o'clock Eastern time, they get Kentucky. That's Wednesday on the SEC Network. Starts at 9 Eastern time.
There's nobody in basketball plays a 7-game stretch that Alabama's played. All basically nationally rated teams. Started with Auburn, then it goes from Auburn to Missouri.
Yep.
Then it comes here.
Yep.
And then they got Mississippi State.
Keep going.
Tuesday
I want to test
night.
this. Yeah, what
and
else?
Then they go also, let me see, my man tells me they got Florida, Tennessee, Tennessee, and then Florida.
That's right.
And then Auburn.
Good job,
Pretty
Dickie
good,
V.
huh, man?
It's
wow,
amazing.
85, I got a memory. Are you kidding me?
This may be, quote, the easiest game they have left, and it's the 17th team in the country. Are you kidding me?
And it's home. They better win at home. They don't want to have a 3-game losing streak.
Nelson comes to help on Williams, and that may have done just enough.
They got to get Nelson a little involved offensively. They really do. He's too talented, versatile player.
Good hands by Carr to knock it away from Sears. That's the first turnover of the game for Sears.
Yeah, not only his first, really. He's been having troubles with turnovers all year.
Good job by Carr. There was a 7-footer in drop coverage. You get low with Sears, meet him at ball level, and come away with a strip in the rip.
You know, we talk about turnovers of a kid like Sears. They turn over the ball because they really dominate the ball and they're in charge. We see the kid Cooper Flagg, he turns it over. You know what? It's because they make so many things happen. Years ago, when Larry Bird played and Magic played, hey, they would turn the ball over because the bottom line is they would produce so much outstanding basketball. They make things happen.
Grant Nelson goes to the bench with his 3rd foul, so the idea that they're going to get him involved, he can't do it sitting down. He's got 3 on him now. As Brea hard flips it up, no good, and a box out of Williams.
Man, the ones you got to make in this league.
Near turnover. Layup missed. Boy, an easy one there.
Again, layups missed on both ends, man. In this league, those things are critical.
Nice play. Carr deflected out of bounds, and it's hit Carr on the way out.
The deflection really created that, took away a layup because he's dumping it off for a dunk.
Maybe a bounce pass there instead of keeping it up with those hands could get it.
Now, think about this. Alabama had 30 points in the first half within the first 10 seconds of their possession. That's how they are wired, which tells you Kentucky's early defense has to be much better this half.
Sears stops, throws it up. Brea with a foul.
Tell you one thing, he gets to that foul line, Sears, with the driving ability. He creates fouls with his penetration, toughness. He's a tough little guy. He really is.
Yeah, that's the 5th foul, I believe, drawn by Sears, and that's more analytically, you got assistant coaches on the bench feeding the head coach saying that's the 5th time we fouled this guy. Tells you he is the problem. Quote, Mark Pope is how he describes Sears.
Tell you one thing, Nate Oates is a guy who believes a lot in analytics. He really does.
He sure does. And these two have an immense amount of respect for each other. Oates loves what Pope is doing. But again, so many of the programs have mirrored what Oates and others, the NBA in particular, do with the 3-point shots and the cuts off the screens, etc.
Coach at Romulus High School in Michigan, where I had one of my great players, John Long, played a number of years in the NBA. Then he was an assistant to Bobby Hurley with Buffalo.
Carr too deep. That's a pretty play. They needed that. The 10-point lead was the largest of the game for Alabama.
Right, on the road, you have to have the ability to throw the ball inside and score, and if not, get fouled. A good job by Kentucky.
And good hands by Perry to knock it away from Philon.
They got to stop those turnovers, man. That's been a downfall this year for them.
Perry steps into a 3. He's on the ground, no call, and he's grabbing his left hip. Sears. Short whistle. They're going to get Oweh, and Sears will shoot 3.
What a bad foul right by Kentucky to get even close enough. Sears firing up a 30-footer.
Oweh's got his hands on his head. He's shocked that Owen Short, the official out there, called that. As those two have a conversation.
Oweh's brother, of course, NFL player for the Ravens, comes from a massive athletic family, and he's the youngest of 3, so he was always around big brothers, and that gives him some of that toughness and tenacity.
His brother was a first-round draft choice.
Yeah. I'll say this about Kentucky found a three-point shooter, though. Their last 4 games, Kentucky has held opponents to 19% from the three-point line. They have much greater urgency recovering the shooters than they did the first couple of months.
Yeah, they did. I saw that stat, 19%. Doing a great job shutting down the threes.
Well, if Sears makes this, Alabama will have outscored Kentucky to this point at the free throw line, 14-4.
And a lot of that's created because of the penetration ability and driving ability of Sears.
10-point difference on the free throw line, 10-point difference in the game. Now 11 after Perry picks it up. Pretty play, Travis Perry, and that's how you score 5,000 in high school.
It's amazing. Think about that number. Scored 5,000 points on a high school level. Unbelievable.
Tough pass, turnover.
Turnovers again, man.
Look at the 7-footer, Williams. No, Carr can't get it to go.
Williams did everything right except didn't convert.
Noah, the floater. No. Williams can't get it, but he will shoot 2 as Kentucky asserting himself.
Well, they're trying to get it done on the offensive glass right now. Kentucky is.
Well, I'll tell you what, they did a great job there, Jimmy. They really were aggressive.
Travis Perry is such a baller, man. He's a guy that a bad play does not affect his next play. And then that is brilliant for a young player to understand that. And Mark Pope says he's the best we have on our team at flushing out a negative and getting right back in the moment.
The guy that flushes out negatives big time is their coach.
Yeah, Mr. Positive, right?
Oh, he's Mr. Enthusiasm, Mr. Energy.
He's going to do a great job. He's been phenomenal. Here's a chance to cut into that free throw deficit as Williams will step in.
Tell you one thing, though, the guy he replaced did a great job. People took it for granted. What he did his first 5 years in Kentucky was unheard of.
No doubt.
I mean, trips to the Final Four, national championship, great players. You know, they got 29 guys in the NBA that wore that Kentucky uniform. So he brought to those fans great players. What hurt him were 2 losses. A loss to Oakland and a loss to St. Peter's.
Sure did. Yeah,
and people remember that. But you know what? If you look at his body of work for 15 years, Elvis should put a statue there. And Sutton's got to get into the rafters and name. No doubt about
What you
it.
don't know about this particular group of Kentucky players is how many, if any, are NBA prospects. This is an entirely new team that Pope has.
You know, not only a new team, they don't have one player, a 1 point, 1 rebound coming back from last year in the uniform.
And so many mid-major players as Sears gets ready to ISO Chandler, and he fires. No good.
Good job by Chandler as Sears danced with that basketball, not to back up and keep a little bit of defensive pressure on the smaller Sears.
Good pass, Williams. Carr, yes!
Yeah, that's their money spot. That absolutely is Kentucky's money spot. Both those corners are always filled with big guys that can make guarded shots.
Carr Sunday has did a good job in this game. He did a good job early in the game on Nelson as well defensively.
5th assist for Williams, lead 4. And you can't leave your feet in there. It's a turnover waiting to happen, and it will be as Kentucky will take the basketball. Kentucky now on a little run of its own to cut this thing down to a manageable number. Williams with 5 assists. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Panera. Come enjoy our comforting classics or discover a new Panera favorite. Boy, the last 15 and a half should be phenomenal. Well, we got a barn burner here with a whole bunch of points. In the last meeting 5 weeks ago, January 18th, it was the Nelson Sears show. They combined for 49 points, 12 boards and 11 assists, 25 and 24 points. And they put up 1,000 points between them. 6 ties, 6 lead changes. In the end, Alabama prevailed 102-97 in what was one of the most, for offensive folks, visually appealing basketball games of the entire year.
It was a heck of a game. I watched that game. It was terrific. Sears was brilliant. So was Nelson. Nelson, by the way, I think right now, he doesn't have a point, does he? I don't think Nelson has a point today, does he?
No, he's got 3 fouls, and Grant Nelson has no points on 0 for 1 shooting with 1 rebound.
Robbie, in a game for Kentucky, Oweh had 21. He's got 2 right now. Lamont Butler had 17. He's not even playing. Jackson Robinson, 11. He's not playing today. So other guys for Kentucky with under 16 to go in this game, they've got to step up offensively. And I think Oweh, 0-0 right there, has got to find his groove right now on the offensive end.
Yeah, and a couple of strange fouls from Oweh. He fouled a 3-point shooter, and then on the inbounds, he picks up another foul. We'll take a timeout. It's under 16. It's 53-49. Oweh has been so consistent because he's been on the floor consistently. Well, that's in jeopardy now as he picked up on that 3-point shot, his 3rd foul, and on this one, his 4th foul of the night.
Well, he hooks him right there. He hooks him. So obvious. I can see them with 1 eye. He's got referees staring at him with 6 eyes. Are you kidding me? Can't get away with that. He has to know his value. His value is so important to that team. And he's got to be on the floor. He fouled out in the first matchup, too.
Yeah, he fouled out 1 time this season. Dick's right. That was against Alabama.
Well, the 3rd foul was the one that really got him in a bad bind. You foul a guy at 30 feet, a jump shooter. And Oweh has to understand, Coach, Kentucky is without their 2nd and 3rd leading scorer. He has got to be on the floor in this game, and now he's sitting with 4.
Aiden Holloway rolls on a bed and can shoot 3s. He came in and just knocked another one down.
That's a big 3 right there because then we get a little shaky offensively. And we're having really good spacing. They're starting to turn the ball over. So that 3 gives them a little lift.
15 points, 5 3-point field goals for Aiden Holloway.
Nate Oates out of timeouts. He goes to jump shooters, and that time the play call was for Holloway.
Now Brea, who had a good first half, can't get it to go. Williams, watch out. He got rolled up on there by Stevenson. Let's hope they're both okay. And Amari helps Stevenson off the floor.
And watch Aiden Holloway. He just sprints out and makes a good exit cut. And he doesn't go through the elevator. He goes underneath it, but Kentucky can't recover to him. Again, this is a guy shooting 48% in conference play.
And Kentucky's done really a great job, Jimmy. You mentioned earlier, shutting down the 3s, 19%. It's been great what they've been doing recently in their defense.
Yeah, that's the 6th made 3 in this game for Alabama, but Aiden Holloway's made 5 of them. He is a no-mistake guy if you're Kentucky in this game, talking about 2 and 1.
Amari Williams grimacing a little bit after having Stevenson roll up on his left leg, so we'll keep an eye on that. Looked pretty good with a spin move. Wow. Oh, I think he's okay.
Tell you one thing, he recognized the mismatch right there. His size advantage, and he spun in the lane. He's been so solid all year for Kentucky. He's getting better and better as the season progresses.
Coach, simple is hard to guard. Simple is effective. And that's a very simple out-of-bounds play to throw it to your big in the middle third of the floor. You got that thing spread out with shooters around. There's no help. And let 22 in blue create.
And it helps. They got a guy getting the ball that knows what to do with it.
Absolutely.
He really has that ability. He's not going to shoot it. He's going to find somebody with his passing ability. He's like a point guard playing out there.
Holloway dribbling around, takes it all the way to the baseline and still holds it.
Oh, it's charge. Wow. He got to be charged. Yeah. No. Block.
Call it on Chandler for Kentucky. I saw what you saw when that arm came up from Youngblood.
Well, the physicality of Youngblood has been a big part of this Alabama team this year. That right arm came up at the end, but I think the contact, the block was already called. And Chandler fighting his tail off. He's a kid that absolutely no basketball for 2 years, so still knocking the rust off as a freshman.
I thought there was an offensive foul.
Served on a mission for 2 years, and now getting his legs underneath him again with a little more confidence.
He's not a typical freshman. He's 21 years of age.
Oh, Williams lost it.
He's the first player to commit to Mark Pope.
I followed him from Utah as Williams with a goaltend.
That's great offense. Again, what is Alabama doing? The first 10 seconds of possession, man, did they put pressure on that rim, and Phylon was very patient. to get his defender in a dribble hold situation and get that thing up on the glass.
There was no doubt about the goaltending call.
No. Williams goes to the bench in a 6-point lead for Alabama. Oweh not playing. He's got 4 fouls and only 2 points.
If you're Kentucky, you cannot have live ball turnovers right now. Let Alabama get out in front of you.
Perry. Up and in. What an effort. Travis Perry.
A terrific offensive play. He sealed the defense off really with his body, cut him off. You can see why this guy was a scoring machine on a high school level.
Dick,
what a future he has.
He's got great upper body strength for a true freshman. Really strong, wide shoulders. And he gets Holloway on the backside and holds him off in what we call dribble hold and just goes through the contact. A high ball screen is set. Garrison dives out of it, and he just drives the dive of Garrison. Really well done for a young player.
He did a great job also squaring his body to the baseline, cutting the defensive player off, utilized his body so effectively.
Double figures now for Perry. He's got 10. Sears beats Noah, and then he threw up an alley-oop. Nelson back in with 3. Sears finds the bottom.
He says, forget about throwing lobs. What about my trifecta? I'm going to let it fly. What a scoring machine this kid is. Coming off a 35 point performance against Missouri.
He's got 23 tonight. 65 career games with 20 or more. Brea needed it, and he buried it.
Here's the problem, though. Sears makes a 3 and then gives up a 3 by going underneath on Brea.
Yeah, you got to go over the top of that screen. You can't go, especially on Brea, you can't go beyond.
You can, but you give up a 3.
Sears with the right, he buried Noah. He's got 2 more.
How many times has Sears finished with his right hand as a college basketball player? Not a lot.
Probably count them on one hand. Perry. No good. Garrison, terrific job to keep it alive. Garrison looking for Carr, wants to get it to him, he can't. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Noah's gonna have to fire it up. Oh, nearly had it go down.
Should have gave the ball inside the car. He was posted in great position.
Noah dribbled himself into a turnover. Garrison pulls his way in, he missed.
The Ravi, the 12th turnover for Alabama. That number has got to stop growing forward if they're going to consider themselves a serious Final Four threat.
Well, they get creators on the floor now, 3 of them with Philon, Holloway, and Sears. Aiden Holloway, alley-oop, no, Nelson can't get it to go.
Boy, Nelson not having the kind of night that he had the first matchup when he had 25 against Kentucky. This is going to basket only has any yet, huh?
He's 0 for 2. He's got no points. Both teams gone a little cold here the last couple of minutes.
He's starting right now. Match up with Carr.
Carr wants the isolation. He sends Brea away. Andrew Carr. Yes, that's pretty.
Fake.
He wanted to win this matchup. Coach Pope told me before the game, our job today, we want to contain Nelson. We can't let him run wild like he did in the first matchup. I would say they've contained him.
Holloway, no, and the crowd would have lost their minds. Garrison, he turned it over. Sears. What a pace.
Tell you one thing, he's got a license to shoot it from anywhere. You got to shoot anybody coming out of the locker room.
Bama's done a good job of blowing up that zoom action by Kentucky in this game. Just not giving those dribble handoffs any life.
Brea, he is open. No good. How about Sears with a box? Let me see if they get a shot off in the first 10 again.
Yep.
They will, and it might be for 3.
I love that kid. I love that kid. He's going to be a terrific player.
It all starts, though, with Mark Sears. Punching that paint, getting that defense to respond to that basketball, and Philon comes in with a hard cut. Alabama has gotten much better cutting off the ball this year. Mark Sears just drops it off for Philon, and Carr has his hips opened up. There's no rim protection. Garrison's too late. And Roll Tide pushes this thing out back to a 5-point lead.
Welcome back, everyone. You're looking at Mason Benedetti. He's been a manager for Alabama basketball for 2 years. He's a sophomore. Team wearing pink Nikes to honor his mom, Suzanne Benedetti, who passed away on November 24th from stage 4 breast cancer. And of course, cancer has touched nearly every person's life in one way or another. And tonight we are so delighted to have Dick Vitale back here, but knows all about stories like what Mason Benedetti is dealing with.
Really painful to see, really. You're right, Carl. There's too many stories like that. And I'll tell you one thing, I'm real proud of my group. We've raised 90 so far, $2.9 million. And if you want to help us, right there, we're going to be raffling off a new Porsche. All the money goes for kids battling cancer. Get your chances before we sell out. v.org/Vitale raffle. v.org/Vitale raffle. I need the Crimson Tide fans. I need the Kentucky fans. For $100, you got a chance to win that beauty. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to enter tonight because you got a chance to win a Porsche Boxster, right, with a black interior.
Yeah, you get a chance to win it, but you get a chance to knock out cancer, which is something we all are focused on doing.
Randy, think about this. Kentucky, excuse me, Coach. They have 12 steals, Kentucky, in the game. 12. They only average 5. Mark Pope trying to get something off of his defense to hang in this game.
All right, is it Oweh time? He spins in. No good, but Williams cleans it up.
The value of a guy that can get the ball on the glass in this league is understated. It allows those offensive rebounding giants to come into play.
Oweh plays with 4 fouls, Dick, and he's got 2 points as Nelson scores his first 2.
Nobody rotated over and blocked out. Ron Williams in the interior. One of the worst arts in college basketball is blocking people out. A fundamental, man. If you want a great team defense, you got to finish off your defense by blocking out.
Oweh has scored in double figures every game, and he got pickpocketed by Phylon.
Man, the hot hands of Phylon.
He's a true freshman. He's a true diaper dandy, and he's a kid that the NBA really likes. In fact, he's the only one on the floor projected to be a first-round pick.
A lot of chatter between the 2 guys wearing 0 and 00. 8-point lead. Foul on Nelson, and that's his 4th.
This is the most urgency that Alabama's played defense with in the last couple of weeks.
Well, they better do it. Staring the games they have. They lost 2 in a 7-game stretch. They don't want to lose this and be 3, and then stare Mississippi State. And then, are you kidding me? Right after that, it's Tennessee, it's Florida, it's Auburn. Are you serious? Who in America has played like 7? He loves it. He told me before the game, Mark Pope says, I love it. I said, really? I used to love all cupcakes. I want cupcakes, baby. I don't want all these unbelievable steak and potatoes, man. Are you kidding me?
But, Coach, because of the league this year is so good, so many ranked teams, there will legitimately be 3 or 4 teams out of this league that are maybe 7 and 11, 8 and 10 that will get in because of who they beat and how good this league was in non-conference. And you look at Arkansas taking on Missouri tonight. Arkansas, their best non-conference win against Michigan, who probably going to win that Big Ten. That's how good this league was in non-conference play.
Well, I'll tell you why I don't know if Michigan's going to win it. When Michigan State beat them last night, Tom Izzo's done one great job.
It'll be one of the 2, yeah.
But I'll tell you this. Think about this. Yeah, I agree, except one thing. I think John Calipari at home, you got to get a win over a team like Missouri. You're 4-9 right now, Jimmy. You got to get some wins.
I agree with that.
Tough test for him. Meantime, Williams has 15 and 9 as Sears goes to work. Can't get it to go, and it's Carr who rips it away. Another opportunity to cut into it.
I'll tell you what, Andrew Carr has really played well in this game.
Yeah.
It looks like the back injury is gone. Oh, they're hoping and praying they can get Butler back, and they can get back Mr. Jackson Robinson.
Oweh with the left, that's no good, and a frustrating scoring night continues. But out of bounds was Amori underneath.
The Rabbi, it was not there for Otega Oweh. I know he's being held in check. The guy that's rattled off 26 games in double figures, but he went to that left and tried to finish with a very tough left-handed floater. He's got to impact the game, but he's got to impact it the way Otega has impacted the first 26 games.
He's got impacted with his great jumping ability, attack aggressively, because he's got a great athleticism.
Hand off, Brea. Tough shot. Kobe Brea is a scorer, and he knocks it in.
Again, they get him on that NASCAR cut. He's turning into the basketball on the move. Very difficult to get back in front of.
He's got 16 in this game. Foul. Williams picks up a foul against the dribbling Holloway.
Why your post player foul in a ball screen
35 feet away.
30 feet away.
Jimmy just mentioned it. 15th ranked Missouri taking on Arkansas in Fayetteville. That will start on ESPN News. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern time, Arizona's in the top 20. They host BYU. You'll be able to see them on news to start the first game, and then all of them available on the ESPN app.
What about Mark Pope's former school, what they did to Kansas? Oh, man, they gave Kansas a tremendous beating.
When's the last time you saw Kansas struggle like this, Dickie B?
You know, when you bring in all new players, you really, really don't understand what it's all about until you try to blend them together as a unit.
Yeah, that
it takes a while.
And a hit and miss. Sometimes you miss on the player.
Well,
out of the
it's
portal.
back-to-back years that Bill Self has kind of missed on the portal. I think they're only a game or maybe two above 500 in Big 12 play the last 2 years. Uncommon territory right now for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Back to the game at hand, 72-66 with 8 to go. And so far, just 2 points from Oweh.
Carr wants the ball. They should get the ball to Carr. He really wants the ball.
Well, if anybody's going to get it to him, it's likely going to be this guy, Williams. And he goes to the left, and he dribbled it off his hip. Turnover, Kentucky.
A good job by Alabama to handle what's not easy action to handle. There's a ball screen set up top. They switch it out well. Roll Tide trying to hold on to that 6-point lead.
Back here, it's impossible to go on win streaks like that. This conference just bludgeons you, and right now Alabama with a 6-point lead over Kentucky. Hey guys, take a look at this. The All-State Tournament predictor, and we're talking about chance to be a 1 seed. Auburn, 50% chance. Houston, Duke, 45 each. And then you get into the Alabamas, Tennessees, and Floridas, 35, 35, 31. You're likely going to have 2 SEC teams on the 1 line.
3 are going to be locks. I really believe Auburn, Houston, Duke will be there. One of those others will get that opportunity to join.
2 of those.
I think the 3 are locks. You know, Duke's the only team in the nation that is top 5. Think about this. Top 5 offensively and defensively in efficiency. And when you're that way in both, you got a chance always to win.
Kentucky goes to a little zone here, which leaves a corner open, and Youngblood took advantage.
And Alabama was absolutely dialed in against that zone defense. Kentucky likes to bring their wings up high. Those corners are open. Alabama, rise, release, rotation, result.
Youngblood, since he's been playing as a starter, they have improved shooting the 3.
They're dangerous right here for Kentucky. 75-66, 7 on the shot clock. Sears digging in against Brea. He fires.
Mark Sears, the ball pressure again, Coach Vitale.
Mark Sears did a terrific job. That was a tough shot for Brea. He really rose to the occasion defensively. I think if his teammates see him playing defense like that, it becomes contagious. It really does.
Owen Short saw something underneath the basket, and the media said we got to take a look at it. So we're going to see which player may have got an arm or elbow up into the face of another.
Call on the court is a common foul. That plays under review.
You have the striped shirts. They gave me a beautiful card today. The SEC officials.
So we'll take a look at it. Clifford Omori may have got a hand up in the face of a Kentucky player, and they will take a look at it.
Well, it's a common foul to start with, Coach. So are they going to judge this excessive, unnecessary by Omori from behind? That could very well be escalated to an F1. He wraps that arm around and gets into the neck area of Williams.
That might be a flagrant one. I really agree with you, Jimmy.
Right there, yeah.
And no play on the ball.
I tell you, does a good job for the SEC. My buddy, Bob Delaney. Bob Delaney was an outstanding NBA official. He works for Greg Sankey, who, by the way, is a terrific commissioner.
Yeah, Mike Eads, the head of officiating the SEC, they have done a great job of refereeing the most athletic league in college basketball in a long, long time. Historically, up about 3% in their foul calls. They're managing the obvious calls really well. They're doing a great job, I think, of managing the gray areas, which officials have to do. A little surprised they didn't escalate that one to an F1, kept it a common foul.
So Williams will shoot some free throws. He's been outstanding. How about 15 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists? There's no one else in the country who is asked to do what Williams is on a nightly basis like Kentucky currently relies on him.
Ravi, he's a pro.
Yeah.
Now, Amari Williams is the one pro that Kentucky has on that roster right now.
Holloway, that's going to be Oweh's 5th. And he will foul out of the game with just 2 points and end his streak of scoring in double figures in every game in his career at Kentucky.
That's a big loss with 6 minutes on the clock. That is a big loss. He's been terrific. He's been Mr. Consistency for Kentucky all year. He's been there one we didn't see today that explosiveness that he possesses. I mean, he's such a terrific athlete.
But it has been Mark Sears frustrating this guy. Youngblood has frustrated him as well. Alabama, they drew a line so far in this game. Like I said in the open, draw a line and say enough is enough. You're fighting for your life right now to hang into that 1 seed. And there's no way you can afford to lose 3 in a row.
Ortega Oweh leaves. He was 1 of 9 from the floor. And he is out, and they play again without Kriisa, without Butler, and without Jackson Robinson.
What I love about Pope, he makes no excuses about that.
Nope.
We're here to battle what we have, not what we don't have.
Right.
I really respect that. And I'll tell you this, too. Right now, I think it's getting to danger time.
Yes, it is.
It is danger time for Kentucky.
It's made even more dangerous by the fact that Oweh's not available.
Well, 3 starters. Butler, Robinson, Oweh. You're trying to close out a tough game on the road, down 3 guys.
Kentucky has surprised us a lot this season, especially in games against top 25 teams.
Yes,
sir.
Oh,
they call it on Brea. Youngblood with a chance for 3.
Ravi, I say yes, sir, because simple is good, man. It is so good in college basketball. Simple out-of-bounds play. Get your guy that can win his one-on-one matchup against Brea. Just Youngblood, too physical. Good job of stopping and then going right back up into the contact. Man, simple, out of bounds, hard to guard.
I'll tell you one thing. Youngblood was terrific last year, player of the year in this conference. The American Athletic played at USF. Had a coach that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Passed away in October at such a young age. Such a great future. Amir Abdur, unbelievable. Raheem, just terrific.
Noah trying to draw the foul. He gets the layup. It ends an 8-0 run. And by the way, Brea is playing now with 4 fouls.
I wish more teams would run that widespread flex action. It's so tough to handle. Kentucky just scored off of it.
You can't let him get that lane.
He's seeking. He is seeking, and he may have got away with a little push on Carr. And look at Williams. Bad pass there. Holloway read it.
Gotta use the bounce pass, Carl. Gotta use the bounce pass. He's going to deflect that kind of a pass. But he's been terrific. No question. Williams has been absolutely solid.
Lead is 10. Holloway, yes.
Drive the switch.
When you got guys attacking that 3-second area, like Holloway and like Sears, good things are going to happen.
Man, this place is rocking.
Perry was drifting to his left, which is where the shot went.
Oh, man.
Holloway, too strong and off the heel to the right.
That was at least 35 feet.
Yeah.
35 feet. Not many guys get the license to shoot that ball like that. They're up 12. They're going to feel pretty good. It's better than giving up 110 like they did against Missouri.
Now, Kentucky's depth is being challenged, especially now that Oweh has fouled out of this game. It's 80-68 with 5:15 to go. Hey, as we continue to celebrate Black History Month, we want to pay tribute.
I coached Leon Douglas, the Detroit Pistons. Tremendous person. Just a great guy. Represents Alabama with such class. Just terrific. It was a heck of a player.
Well, there have been some heck of performances today. Guys that have been hard to guard. How about L.J. Cryer today, 28 versus Iowa State for Houston. Chaz Lanier went for 30 for Tennessee at Texas A&M. Jeremiah Fears, the freshman guard at Oklahoma, went for 27 in their upset. And Mark Sears right now sitting there with 25, coming in off of a 35-point game. Well, Mark Sears has found his groove this week.
Lanier was unbelievable, making 8 threes against a quality opponent, top 10 team, Texas A&M.
Brea in the paint. That's a difficult shot. He gets the friendly roll here on the road.
He gets friendly roll. Why? He has that great soft touch, the great backspin on the basketball.
Phylon in traffic. Sears bounces it to him. He had a chance for a dunk, said no. Youngblood. Oh, how good is that?
He was a big-time scorer when he played at South Florida, and he's given his team a big lift since being inserted in the starting lineup. Youngblood.
He's got 11. Chandler, difficult shot, but Garrison is right there to pick it up.
Kentucky just trying to hang in this game right now. Alabama, you got to check people, keep them off the glass. Bama's first shot defense has been about as good as it's been all year in this league.
Alabama's made 9 3-point field goals on 29 attempts. Phylon. Youngblood's feeling it. No good.
They need a 3. They need a 3 from a guy like Brea. They got to get him a shot.
And it feels like a big trip for Kentucky. Brea, one-on-one. Sherrill fouled him, and he will get the free throws.
Great job by Kentucky to recognize that Alabama was mismatched in their transition game, so they don't pass the ball so Kentucky can get rematched. And Alabama just fouls and keeps the doors open. There's that hard dribble roll, but look at this ball stay hot, man. Alabama has thrown strikes in this game in the half court. You throw strikes, the three-point shots fall. So far, so good for Alabama.
Back here at Coleman, 83-72. It has been the backcourt of Alabama and an increased intensity on defense, Jimmy, that's really carried him.
I think that's what I've been most impressed with by Mark Sears is how he has climbed in and applied defensive pressure. Now, his offense has been terrific. He's got 25 and Holloway's got 19. Those two guys, man, small guards with a big game, tough to stay in front of, hard to handle.
You know, we can talk about the game in terms to analyze, evaluate all the little things that take place in basketball. You know what the key in this game has been? Look at the free throw line. The free throw line, Kentucky 10 for 16, and you look at Alabama 18 for 21.
Yeah, they made 29 free throws at Rupp Arena, Alabama did in their win.
And again, last 4 minutes, Dick, you just set that table again. You got no Robinson, you got no Butler, and Oweh fouled out with just 2 points. So 3 primary contributors not available, A, because of injury, and B, fouling out of the game.
But they had all those guys at Rupp Arena, and they still couldn't beat them. So
That's
we got to
fair.
give credit to Alabama. But also, when you look at Kentucky, they're 7-1 against top 15 teams.
Nelson, yes, that's what they need.
No resistance.
And the 7-1, the only loss was to Alabama. They lose today, they'll be 7-2 against the top 15 teams. 2 losses to Alabama.
Garrison was planted down there with Holloway on him. KC sent it back to the studio.
And Ravi, we want to let you know Missouri and Arkansas are underway on ESPN News. The Tigers off the thrilling win over the Crimson Tide Wednesday night. The Razorbacks started the night one of Joe Lunardi's last 4 teams in, so a critical game for them. It's underway on ESPN News. You'll see it here next, Ravi.
All right, Kevin. Yeah, Dickie mentioned it too. I mean, you think about it. If Kentucky were to lose this game, they would fall to 500 in conference. But remember, in this conference, so tough to win. In the last couple of years, we've seen 8 and 10 teams get in. I think Jimmy's point was you get to that 7 and 11, 8 and 10 mark. There's a high probability, if not a lock, you're getting in.
I mean, think about it. The 17th ranked team in the country with a loss will fall to 500 in this league. That's That's how good this SEC monster is this year.
Well,
college basketball.
There's 16 teams. They're all quality programs.
No doubt.
They all got NIL money. They all got all. Don't get me started about NIL and the lack of stability in the game.
We won't get you started on that.
Don't get me started on that, man.
3 minutes to go. Nelson. Ooh, that was an aggressive take. He'll get the chance to shoot 2 free throws. Talk about competitive. How about the women's game, too? Tomorrow morning, College Game Day crew kicks things off at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
The
They'll
Irish,
be in
baby.
Raleigh. Huh?
The Irish, #1 in the country. Come on, man. Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the Echoes. Are you kidding me? Boy.
9th ranked North Carolina and Louisville at 2. And finally, the 7th ranked Lady Tigers take on Kentucky, ranked 14th at 4. It all starts with game day again at 11 a.m. Eastern.
The team I like in the women's game, the eyes of Texas are upon.
I know you
had
do.
to offset that Notre Dame fight song.
That Notre Dame fight song is clearly the best fight song in the world.
Anybody know the UConn women's fight song? The UConn fight song?
Go, Paige, go.
I'm in on UConn. Go, Paige and AZ and the rest of them. They are phenomenal again. Talk about a coach that's done incredible work. Gino Auriemma forever. They're back here, 10-point game, less than 3 to go. Kentucky.
I don't expect anything else from Gino Auriemma.
Chandler. Oh, that's huge.
There's one of those freshmen that can knock down big shots with courage. Again, you just cannot make a mistake and go under those Kentucky guards.
You know, he played 15 great minutes against Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
had
he
7
sure did.
points, 6 rebounds. He showed toughness.
Look at Sears. Oh, they're going to get Chandler, whose foot may have collided with Sears, which results in a trip. It feels like there's been a handful of those calls against Kentucky tonight where there was no intent at all by Chandler.
Both teams have made 9 threes in this game. Both teams came in averaging 10 threes, so they're right on their watermark. But Chandler with a huge one right now to keep Kentucky with a fighter's chance right now.
Yeah, they're losing another one, though. That's number 5 on number 5 as he goes to the bench to join Oweh. To Dick's point, the fouls have, and the free throw shooting has dramatically been in favor of the home team.
And a lot of that is because of the play of Sears. His penetration ability, his driving ability, creating fouls.
Coach, think about this, though. If and when Kentucky gets those dudes back, the depth that Mark Pope has developed with Trent Noe and Travis Perry, different guys getting minutes, that bodes really well for Kentucky in March. If they can get back to 100%.
That if is a big if.
A big if.
Williams back on the floor. Perry back on the floor. Brea. He's deep. No chance there. As 3 white shirts converged on him.
Great job by Nelson Ragger to come off that corner and bother that shot.
They see Amore. Bad pass denied by Carr.
What was that?
Don't need it. Right there, you lead it by 9.
But he picked off the pass from Williams. And he will pull up and bury a 3.
That's a killer. That is a killer. That turnaround is an absolute killer.
You guys were killing him, and he knew what he was doing the whole time. He's got 30 now.
Coming off 35 the previous game.
Brea floater, no good. And watch out with under 2 to go.
I'm telling you, Mark Sears has found his groove that he had last year at the right time for Alabama.
Oh, Youngblood from the right.
What a big question. Youngblood's been a big question this team. Look at Nato. Nato cheering. He feels good. Feels excited. Feels a lot better than he did in Missouri. I'll tell you one thing. He is feeling good. What a job he has done. I'm disappointed in one thing here. I am really disappointed. I had one goal coming here, and that was to get a picture with Nick Saban. And he's not in the house. Where's my guy Saban?
Well, Nick Saban likes defense, Coach, so here you go. Mark Sears just refuses to get his dauber down in this game because he made a mistake on the previous offensive possession, but he comes right back, man. And that transition pull-up 3 by Sears. And he's not the only one. Youngblood can knock him down. Different guys, but, man, you cannot allow Alabama to drive into a pull-up 3, and there's a response.
Everybody will say when you mention him, he's undersized. He can't play in the NBA. Let me tell you, he can make somebody's team and help him off the bench. That kid, he's going to find a way to score. You know what? So who's he going to check? How many guys are going to check him?
8th time he's gone for 30 or more, and the second SEC player in the last 20 years with back-to-back 30-point games against a team in the top 25.
Ravi, he's a perfect 11 out of 11 from the free throw line, so he's touching the game in so many areas as Mark Sears. He's got 2 steals in this game, only 2 turnovers.
That's the big one.
In the 34 minutes that he's played. Nate Oates will be most proud of that.
Without question. Point of emphasis for Sears and Alabama, the turnovers, and it's something that they have paid a little more attention to. Certainly their point guard.
John Clay is a real outstanding writer in Lexington in terms of following Kentucky for many, many years, like 4 decades. He had an interesting column he wrote about. They have really improved Kentucky in the last 4 games, but we're going to see really how much they've improved when they're tested by Alabama.
Yeah.
So right now, we're seeing they've still got a long way to go defensively.
Yeah, they've gone from number 112 in the country to number 69 defensively coming in. If you're going to make a Final Four run, you got to be inside that top 25, and Mark Pope knows it.
Yeah, Youngblood making life difficult for Brea. And Williams backing Amori in, throws it up and gets it to go. He is so tough. He now has 18.
That didn't look like it was going to go in. It was a line drive.
17 points, I should say, not 18, 17.
And how about Mark Sears, though, guys? 35 points on the road at Mizzou in a loss, and comes back with another 30-point game. Could not come at a better time for Nate Oates to get his lead guard back.
You're right, Jimmy, and I'll tell you something else. He created a lot of foul opportunities, too, with his ability.
No
People
doubt.
don't look at little things like that. I'm going to tell you, I'd love to see this guy somehow make somebody's roster in the next level.
94 points, 17 times they've gone 100 or more since the start of last season, which is the most in Division I. As Perry gets held by Stevenson, and Oates throws his hands up in frustration. Under a minute to go, and comfortably up in this one by 13.
Well, people, they came in number 1 in the nation, Nate Oates' team, offensively. 90.6 a game, average. Well, today they went over that number, 94.
Yeah.
Kentucky came in at 85.6, and they're going to get their number, too.
They are.
They're going to get their number.
And think about this league. Alabama going to improve to 11-3, but they're 2 games back from Auburn. And Auburn, I'm not sure they're the best team right now. I think it's Florida. But, man, the 3 or 4 that are top of this league are legitimate national champion contenders.
There you go. A little exclamation point from Amori.
Engineer Dingley, he's a great shot. Jimmy, I disagree with you there. I still think Auburn's the best team right now. I really do. They got 6 guys averaging double figures. Until somebody can knock them off the top, I still say they're best.
Williams can't convert there, and Auburn has got to worry about Alabama perhaps in a tournament. And they still have another game to play, and Alabama peaks today when it comes to their 3-point shooting and defense.
Yeah, they rose to the occasion. They rose to the challenge. They really came here. 2 straight losses. It was a must-win for them to remain in the elite top 5.
Mark Sears set the tone on both ends of the floor.
Absolutely.
His ball pressure coach early did it all for Alabama.
Absolutely.
26th time that Nate Oates picks up a top 25 win at Alabama. He now holds the record. Great to be back with our buddy Dick Vitale. For Jimmy Dykes and our entire crew, Bama wins 96-83, and the SEC basketball continues. We send it to John Schriffen.